Okay, this is JDS Sport Talks video, and today I'm finally bringing back Sport Talks, as I just said. Now, you may hear drilling and banging and shit behind me in the background because, as we all, well, as you should know, if you actually no one really watches this channel, you will not know, but my house is being renovated, like, massively, so it's really an add-on more than a renovation, and there's lots of banging in the background, and I can't stop that. Hopefully it's not too interruptive? No, whatever the word would be. Let's get straight into the first thing. I'm going to talk about, as you would have seen from the title and the thumbnail, it's about Willie Rioli and him finally getting an answer to how long he'll be suspended for, and also about Roberto Firmino and the situation in general at Liverpool. Let's talk about Willie Rioli first, because I know really more about that because it's more my area. I love soccer, but footy is just more me. I'm Aussie and stuff. So Willie Rioli has finally, after almost 2 years, got an answer. No, more than 2 years, whenever it was. Has finally got an answer for his doping and anti-doping. Where is it? Whatever he. Basically, what he did is he pissed in a drug test before a final in 2018 or maybe 19. Actually, I think it was 2019. And obviously, he didn't piss. You're meant to piss in it. He put Gatorade. So yeah, that's not exactly a legal thing to do, and it's taken a ridiculously long time to get a answer to whether to how long he'll be suspended for. It was looking like, well, the base thing is 4 years because the whole anti-doping agency, that particular offence was brought in to do with the Olympics, and obviously Olympics is a 4-year gap, excluding this time because of COVID and shit. So yeah, it took that's why the 4-year thing was originally there, but that doesn't really work for footy because that's there because there's no real, apart from unless you're part of the Commonwealth, there's no major thing to suspend you for Olympians. So you have to suspend you for the next Olympics. That's why the 4-year thing, and they've lowered it to 2 years for Rioli. So yeah, it's a backdated 2-year suspension. So he'll be back training in June, and I think, I'm not 100% sure, I can't seem to find a proper answer on this. It doesn't say whether he's back and he's physically allowed to play in June or if he's only allowed to train. He won't be fit anyway, but I've not seen a physical date for when they say he can play now, only for when he can train. So I'm assuming it's the same day, it's just whenever his feet can come back. And I've seen that the captain, Luke Shuey, has said the moment he is fit, he's such a good forward, he can walk into the team effectively. I'm not 100% sure about that, and clearly neither is the what did they call him? The chief what? I'll basically say the quote. In a media conference after the penalty was announced about Willie Rioli, the West Coast Eagles Chief Executive Officer Trevor Nisbet, so that's who it was, he said the whole thing was a fair compromise, yada yada yada. They would have liked a bit less. What's the quote I'm looking for? I can't find the quote. Anyway, basically he said it was, by the way, it was anti-doping ban, that's what it was for. Basically he said it's not certain he will play. I can't find it right now, but I read before. It's not certain he will play this year. I think that's covering his ass if he doesn't. I think he will almost certainly play this year. I think he will play just before finals, if we're in the contention for finals, even if we're not. But especially if we are, which I hope we would be. I don't know how high in the finals we would be. I feel like we're going to be like 4th to 7. Maybe I suppose we'll be close enough. Maybe I reckon 5, 6, or 7. 4th if we do really well. It depends how. I've heard that they're not going to give Nick Nat more time in the team, which is annoying. Because something to do with the fact that they've extended game periods back to their correct 20 minutes quarters. I just think, just give him the more game time he's always had prior to his injuries. You got to eventually give it back to him, otherwise you're just going to taint his career, which has already been tainted by constant injuries throughout his peak. And now he's the whole different player. He's going to learn to play a whole different way, which I've seen in the last year of him coming back from his injuries. He doesn't run around as much. He's not the athletic, high-flying, almost slingshot attacking ruckman that we used to have, where he could kick goals while playing ruck, and then when he got tired, they had to take him off. They could just drop him in the pocket or on the flank or something. He would kick goals from there when he was younger. and then that's all gone apart because he's got so stocky in the time he's been injured. So yeah, back to Rioli. I think it's a fair suspension. I think what really helped him is when they had a second test with him afterwards. They found out well, it's not kind of hard to find out when it's Gatorade, not piss. But when they found out he tampered the test, I think what helped him massively is that there was no actual performance-enhancing drugs in when they had a second test in his system, which would, I'm pretty sure they said, which would certainly still be there, assuming he had any in his system originally. So all he had, which probably maybe, I don't know if it would have affected the actual outcome of this, but what he had in his system, he did have marijuana in his system, which I'm assuming he would have got trouble at least from the club for that, but I'm assuming that did affect it a little bit. But yeah, I think it's really good for the Eagles and definitely, and I think it's very good that we finally got an answer for him, for his mental state, and for him being able, he's finally got like a time to aim for. It's not just, oh, I'll keep training, I'll keep going just because I need to. It's sort of like there's something a time and a point to aim for to be at a certain stage to come back. It's not just, oh, I'll try and keep fit and keep my skills up. Like there's something more there than just trying to do whatever whilst we wait for an eventual, a 2-year wait for the answer. I'm going to move on to Roberto Firmino now, and I actually can't find the article that I was going to make this about, but I'll have a quick look afterwards to see if I can find it, because, by the way, articles that I'm reading from about Willie Rioli and this will be in the description, as always, of the video. But Liverpool have not been doing great. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We've been playing like shit. We've been in control of a lot of games. We lost last night 1-0 to Chelsea, but that's outside the situation we're in, I have no problem with that loss. Like, yes, I want to win, but I'm excluding how the game was played. I'm just talking in general with losing that game 1-0. That's not something I'm normally be pissed off at, losing to Chelsea 1-0. It's just only that makes it a bit worse is the position we are in at the moment, where we are fighting for top 4. We really needed wins against a big team to make us have to be able to worry more about playing in the Champions League this season than making it next season, because that's all we really have left to fight for as of this season. That's the Champions League, which I can't see us doing that well the way we're playing. Maybe Van Dijk coming back and Jota coming back might help. Is it Jota or Jota, by the way? I've never known. So if anyone says that knows, put it in the comments, please. I think, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, we really needed that win to focus, so we can focus on something that's affecting this season instead of just trying to be in the Champions League next season, not being stuck in the Europa League. Yeah, I'm just really waiting for those injuries, because I think injuries have. I hear people saying we're being a bit of a suck about the injuries, which I see your point of view. But my thing is, you're looking at injuries on face value. Like, we have lost our main striker, we've lost for a while there, our second tier midfielders. We lost the other centre-backs, so we lost both centre-backs, which meant we had to bring main midfielders back, and having secondary midfielders injured means we had to bring sort of third string midfielders in. And then missing our main striker, I know Roberto Firmino has always been there, but we brought Jota in, and Firmino's not been in good form, which I'll get to in a second. So we're playing a striker who's really out of form. He's not really a striker, it's more of a setup player, and we got out of the system we used with him a little bit. And losing our rock in the defence, which won us the league really, because we were always a bit dodgy in defence before Van Dijk, doesn't just affect us on paper, it affects us mentally as well. Like, a perfect example was when Nick Nat came back. Every time he comes back, it's an injection of, like, okay, we're back to full strength. Like, Nick Nat is back, sort of thing. It's not even so much with those great players. It's not so much, or is also how good they are at themselves, but it's also how much it lifts the other teammates in the team. I don't know what it is. It even happens with me when I play. When the best player in the team comes back, maybe he's been injured, or someone comes back that's important to the team, you just feel better, you play better, everything seems to work nicer. But to Firmino, I read this article, I'll try and find it as I said, but it said, the article was actually in the title, the main part of it I want to talk about is, Roberto Firmino is not the problem, but he is no longer the solution, which I think is such a perfect way of describing the situation with Roberto Firmino. I'm sure people will be saying, I haven't actually looked that much, I'm sure people will be saying get rid of him because he's been playing like shit. And I understand, but I also want to wait to see how he plays once the whole injury shit's finished. See if that whole thing with Van Dijk and everyone back in the team, see if he can gel like he always did. If it's still not working, then there's no need for him anymore. We may as well get someone young to back up Jota once he's gone. So yeah, I think just hold off on him for now. Let him just sit around. We need someone also. We've got Jota once he comes back, but we need someone to really push him to do better. And maybe that's actually could have been what's made him worse, because we had Jota and he didn't seem to be any worse until after Jota got injured. So I think maybe he's lost the competition. He had the competition and then he lost it and he felt safe for the season. He was, there's no chance Origi's going to take my spot. So he's just sort of been resting there and he's been missing easy chances. His passing's still been decent, but the general players, his play overall has just not been up to the standard we need. So I think we still need to sit on him, see how he plays once everything's back to sort of full strength. And if it's still not good enough, then we think about getting rid of him. I think for now it's fine. That's what I'm going to talk about for now. I'll hopefully make more sport talk. Just did that a while back. I never did. I'm going to try and do it. I may not. You never know with me. It's been JDS. Thanks. Bye. See you next time. See ya.